Javin Wright is back. Is Deshon Singleton next? And we broke this news on Husker Online on Thursday that Javin Wright will come back as a 7th-year senior at Nebraska. And I was thinking back to the history of like 6th-year players. There even hasn't been a lot of those at Nebraska. I mean, I'm going to show my memory here.
Yeah, you're going to. This is going to get weird. Yeah,
John Gibson.
Wait a second.
They were the first 6-year guys that I know of in the program.
Oh my God, you're amazing.
And then you had Andy Christensen do a 6-year, never played that last year. He's here, but 6 years. What I'm getting to are rare. 7, unheard of.
Now the times are different,
and with the COVID year,
right?
And, for Javin, his medical situation, this is totally justified. He's missed essentially over 2 years of football, battling blood clots. He even missed 2 months of the season this year. He bounced back strong, though, Sip. He led Nebraska in tackles with 8 in the bowl game.
Played 43 snaps against Boston College. The significance of this to me is when the season ended, you lost John Bullock to graduation. You lost Mekhi Bayer to Missouri through the portal. You thought you're losing Javin Wright. Now you're not. Now, so here's what you got. Your inside linebacker position now has talent and stability. You have Vincent Shavers, Javin Wright, and Marquise Watson-Trent. Those are that's your rotation, right?
Willis McGahee.
No, he's not an inside linebacker.
He plays the out.
Yeah, he plays outside. McGahee's not in that. Just think inside. McGahee doesn't play inside linebacker. Those are the 3 guys. If you look at your chart,
it's more of an outside guy.
Yeah, if you look at your chart, you have some other guys like Vince Genatone in that picture, and a couple other guys that may work their way in there.
The talented freshman class,
right?
Dawson Merritt,
Merritt's probably outside though,
and Christian Jones.
Yeah, and I can't speak to Mooberry and Jones whether they be inside or Christian Jones is inside for sure, so he'd be in that conversation too. But as far as experienced, proven guys, I don't know who will start. It'll be 2 of those 3 though. Vincent Shavers, probably a starter.
And Watson-Trent.
Marquise Watson-Trent or Javin Wright. But the bottom line, what I'm saying is there'll be a nice rotation, real good rotation. You're set at inside linebacker.
3 pretty proven guys.
Oh, God, yes. Javin can play. I mean, now what Javin is a big-time hitter. I mean, he's like his dad, not quite like Toby Wright, but Javin will hit you. Reliable. Big news. It's big. This was huge.
What I think
for the inside linebacker position.
I don't know what his plans are for the pros, but if he can put together a full year wire to wire without any health issues, that could go a long way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's certainly his body 6'5" and probably 235.
Played safety initially.
Right. He's played a lot of football. Yeah, he'd be intriguing to a scout for sure. Body type and probably speed. You wonder what he runs, but it's probably pretty good. I don't know. It's pretty exciting. Vincent Shavers, Marquise Watson-Trent, and Javin Wright. You have a solid inside backer core.
Now, Deshon Singleton.
Yes.
And I got to give credit to our astute audience and listeners because they were the ones that kind of led us to question if these guys are coming back. We had heard nothing that either was coming back. So we followed up on Wright and checked, and he's coming back. Well, Deshon Singleton, we also got some more information that, there's a chance he could return.
Mm-hmm.
And because of the Diego Pavia. I called him, sorry.
Diego Pavia.
It's Friday.
Right. Diego Pavia. The ruling that the JUCO years don't count.
And so that he can get a year back. And he really should get a year back regardless, but he didn't. Because he played 4 games in 23 plus 2 plays in his 5th game.
Yeah.
And those 2 plays dinged him for a whole year.
Yeah. That's probably unfair.
But yeah, we could see Singleton come back. I think some of it's probably money and kind of what he wants to do. He has not commented or confirmed his plans. Now, he did initially announce that he was going to play in an NFL draft all-star game, the East-West game. But that's not set in stone. He could come back.
I'll tell you something. It's a major decision in his life. I mean, and there's probably I would guess there's some stress. I mean, it's a big decision.
Because I think he was dead set on being gone. I mean, because that's what he knew. And now all of a sudden, how much money would it take to keep you here is probably what it comes down to.
Yep. Yeah, these guys like I'm going to go out into territory that I'm not sure that I should, but like Carson Beck before NIL, isn't he just going to the NFL? Now with NIL, he has this other option, and it's Carson Beck. It's a very lucrative option. I mean, Miami, he's a multimillionaire today, I imagine, right?
Well, like Dylan Gabriel.
Yeah.
Kind of extended his career to keep playing college ball. And Quinn Ewers.
Yeah. Well, there's no doubt that Quinn Ewers is a multimillionaire at this point.
And he can come back next year.
Yeah. Instead of it's sort of an interesting situation with those top level quarterbacks. What do you do? No guarantee in the NFL. Go back to Texas and make. If you were to guess, how much would you guess Quinn Ewers would make if he goes to Texas next year?
Like $3 million.
Yeah, at the minimum. Now Texas, we're getting into a rabbit hole.
They have Arch Manning.
Right. That's the thing. I mean, I heard on a radio show today them talking about the Raiders. They should tank next year and get Arch Manning. I'm like, wait a second. Is Arch Manning really? Everybody know is he that good? The NFL franchise would tank for him? He didn't even play that much, did he? Anyway, Singleton could be back, which I believe would help the secondary. You get some mixed reaction on that.
Yeah, I just think there's a thought of fans out there like, hey, let's just move on. Like we've kind of been through a long period of some of these players, and let's kind of freshen things up a little bit.
Well, I think that sort of attitude does apply to some players. I don't think it applies to all of them, though. I don't apply it to Singleton. Yeah, did he play perfectly on every play? No.
I mean, against Ohio State, he played like a dog.
Right. But hardly anybody plays perfectly on every play. Caleb Downs doesn't play perfectly on every play.
Tell me you remember how well he played in the Ohio State game.
Oh, he's really good. He and Jamari Butler were about as good as it gets. McGahee was that good that day too. But a lot of guys were good that day. And yeah, including Singleton. Singleton, I know this, is a vicious hitter. He's very good against the run. And he would be I think it'd be a really welcome development if he came back.
Yeah, that Ohio State game was still a mystery how well they played after the Indiana game. It was almost like guys turned it on knowing the stage they were on, but for some reason they couldn't do it against Indiana.
I know. It was a pretty big stage in Indiana too. And you know what, Sean? Sometimes it just happens. I mean, there's
it was 14-7 late second quarter, and that game just turned over. But the yard total led us to believe that Indiana game was going to turn.
Sometimes in like Ohio State, Oregon, the second go around, 34-0. Don't tell me Oregon's a bad team. Sometimes it just happens in sports. There's blowouts. Nebraska basketball got blown out at Michigan State. I told everybody, hey, it happens. I mean, that doesn't mean the world's ending.
Remember that 2008 trip to Oklahoma when it was like 28-0 in the first 5 minutes?
Yeah, I remember it vividly. But it doesn't mean all is lost. And anyway, we'll see on Singleton. I suppose there's a hard deadline January 15th where you have to declare. Am I wrong? For the NFL draft?
Because then the teams get the players that are available for the draft process.
Today is January 10th. This decision's got to come pretty quick now.
He's got to, in the coming days. And I'm sure he hasn't made it yet as we speculated. But
he hasn't announced anything. I'm not positive he hasn't made it, but he hasn't announced anything.